Well, hello, welcome to lesson 222 of A Course in Miracles. We're in the review section, our sixth review section. As stated earlier in the introduction, or in yesterday, if you're following these along one a day as you should be, we're going to give a minimum of 15 minutes to considering what it is we're reading, as well as the hourly application of the lesson and whatever time we feel we need to give in between as an offering to that lesson in the, what would you call it? In the expectancy to hear, in the expectancy to hear God's voice. And of course, in order to be able to hear God's voice, you're going to have to get past that point of disbelief that there is a voice that you could call God's voice, that disbelief that what you can see, hear, smell, touch and taste is all that there is. And also you're going to have to get past the idea of what you think hearing God's voice might be or might sound like. So we're going to do 222. God is with me, I live and breathe in Him. This will be a short one. Try to connect with it, okay? Try to recognize, remember, put yourself into the idea that this is a holy endeavor that you're taking on board. Something holy, something that is connected with the universal flow of life, of which you, in an admission of feeling out of sorts with or separate from, are now undergoing this transformative and corrective application of principles in your thinking to bring about a miraculous shift in your consciousness that will realign you not only with the idea of your oneness with life on earth, but also through experience reveal to you the nature of life as a singularity that includes you in it, whole and perfectly for all eternity, beyond the spheres of what can be known in consciousness. Okay. God is with me, I live and breathe in Him. God is with me, He is my source of life, the life within, the air I breathe, the food by which I am sustained, the water which renews and cleanses me. He is my home wherein I live and move. The Spirit which directs my actions offers me its thoughts and guarantees my safety from all pain. He covers me with kindness and with care and holds in love the sun He shines upon, who also shines on him. How still is he who knows the truth of what He speaks today? And then there's a prayer. Father, we have no words except your name upon our lips and in our hearts, and in our minds, and we come quietly into your presence now and ask to rest with you in peace a while, and of course in our hearts as well. Heart and mind operate as one in this, and Jesus says several times within the course that the prayer of the heart required for the total, not total, I don't want it to sound like it's in parts, but for the fulfillment, perhaps, of your obligation to the atonement is written upon your heart and was placed there by God before time began. Now, if you're thinking of heart as your anatomical, that's not what your heart is. Your heart is your passion. Your heart is your core, purposeful expression, I guess, your true purposeful expression. It's much deeper and much more rich than the superficial nature of human thought, of temporal thought. And the prayer of the heart will operate of itself. The prayer of the heart isn't something you have to wonder about, worry about, or try to dig your way towards. as an idea of perfecting prayer or anything like that. If you can try to think of your transformation as something that has already been perfectly orchestrated, and you're just now being given the ability and the offering to be able to enter into a communicative, collaborative venture with that, so that you can be the witness to your transformation and help to speed up the collapse of time that it would ordinarily have taken for you to process through that miraculously, you'll begin to get a sense of it. One of the things that I find very helpful, and helpful early on too, is to try to let go at a certain point in your transformation of the dependency on structure, right? Initially, the workbook lessons are very structured because the mind operates in denial in a sense of structure, wherein it prefabricates mechanisms for cause and effect, relationships in an attack and defense positioning all the time in every relationship it enters into. And so structure is something that the ego loves to use. Structure is something that part of the mind that's referencing the temporal association loves to use, because it finds it very easy to keep track of and compartmentalize the particular situations and events that show up and form them into memory associations or future expectations. And at a certain point, and you'll know when it is, I can't tell you when it is, at a certain point, you'll realize that your necessity to mark the time of day by the hours and minutes on your clock or on your watch and things like that, that's a very basic sort of scenario, but it just kind of falls away. And you find yourself living more and more in a sense of now, in a sense of the present. And you'll find that your thinking in its entirety, apart from kind of falling by the wayside in a certain sense, where you're no longer plagued by your miserable thoughts, they tend to become less structured and more free-flowing in a way that supports your ability to not only bear witness to the particulars of your own transformation, but to give you a clearer sense of vision about the altruistic nature of life on earth. Okay, so peace.